listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text us on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website. I was giggling with glee because when the person on the news said it'll be cloudy with rain in the night, it was so. I feel that Italian. If you said Claudio Ranieri,
yes,
that's probably what it means. It'll be cloudy and then a bit of rain later on. It's never occurred to me before.
Yeah.
So what about that?
Cloudy Ranieri.
It's like Claudia Schiffer.
Oh yeah.
You could probably do an entire weather forecast just with people's names.
Do that at one of your live shows.
Yeah, I can do that for one of my skits.
One of your skits, one of your improv skits.
I could use that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having that.
I'm not.
So anyway, welcome to the show. Morning, Jim. Morning, Peter.
Morning, Richie.
And I feel a bit bad because me and Emily went away on holiday.
Sans cockerel.
Well, you're making it sound slightly sleazier than it was. I mean, your partner was present and your child.
No, there was quite a lot of us, actually.
We were a bit of a massive.
There was, how many were? I think there was 8 of us.
There was about 8 of us.
I'll tell you something, I haven't really hung around in a gang for a long time.
Not since your Peaky Blinders days.
No, exactly. And it was great. You feel the security of being with a group of. I mean, there was a woman in her 70s, some middle-aged.
How dare you?
Middle-aged men and women, 2 small, 2 toddlers.
And me.
But even so,
what a gang!
It did feel like, Hector was the first in the gang.
Well, I got very excited because we had a lot of train activity, didn't we, Frank?
Well, that was where I last saw you, was the train. We went straight from this show last week and we ended up at King's Cross, at St Pancras all together.
We had a burger.
We had a burger.
The 3 of us. It was lovely.
I loved that. It
was honestly like a works outing.
It was a really nice moment when Emily was like, should we get a coffee somewhere? And Frank was like, we're having a burger. Very exciting.
Yeah, we did.
It's good. You treated us, didn't you?
Let's just think about that moment.
You treated us.
I did, I paid. Yes! Oh. Why not? I can afford it. So it was, it made me think I might like living in a commune.
Yeah?
I've often thought that.
What, the trip away, you mean? Not the burger that we had?
No, the being with
a gang.
Yeah, there's something.
I liked being in the group because I felt a sense of responsibility. I don't know. I mean, correct me, Frank, if you disagree. I'm sure you will. But I'll
certainly try to if I can.
Okay, great. I felt my role was as seat getter. On those trains, I took control.
You were good at that.
Because you need the 2 tables.
Yeah, I'm not one for elbowing people out the way when I get on a train, but you were really good at it.
Very comfortable with it, yeah.
I have to be careful, be on Twitter, you see.
Well, you say that, but you're oddly comfortable with shouting someone's name down a platform so loudly. We were meeting Frank. I suppose she's kind of your sister-in-law, isn't she? She's your brother-in-law's sister.
I think of her as sister. I mean, I haven't got the paperwork.
Lovely girl. But Frank spotted her on the platform. He said, well, she better sit with us. So I would have maybe gone running after her. He stands with the door open and shouts her name. It was like Rocky shouting, Adrian! I couldn't believe it.
And it was one of those cases, everyone on the platform turned around except the person whose name I was shouting. But I think it's good. I think you get to an age where shouting's easier than running.
Yeah, for sure.
Worth thinking about.
You behaved very well the whole weekend.
Oh.
There was only one instance of gittery.
Oh. I see.
I think I was a victim of gittery, but more of that in a moment.
Oh, no.
Not your gittery, God forbid.
There was only one moment of gittery, which was when you said to Sandy Mason, your mother-in-law, who looked lovely, and we were sitting in the restaurant, and you said, Sandy, why are you wearing that top? And she said, oh, what do you mean? You said, you're in good nick. I think you said you're in good nick.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I think you might have said you're in good shape.
Had I been drinking?
Sounds loose, yeah.
She's a lovely woman, but I wouldn't say she was in good nick.
You said, that jumper makes you look like a belle.
No, well, occasionally with friends. Don't you ever see people out on the street in something inappropriate and think, where were their friends when they left the house?
Yeah.
Why did anyone say, well, hold on, you're not going out in that, are you, darling?
Darling. One of the Craze Associates. Charlie Richardson.
Cat does it to me all the time. What about when I had my my varsity jacket on?
Oh yeah.
I had to go back in and get changed. I think it's part of the thing that friends are for, snot on the face or the wrong clothes. That's two of the things that friends are for.
Okay, Sandy, you didn't look like a belle, just FYI.
No, I'm just saying she looks lovely most of the time, but I think that the jumper was an error. She's probably listening now in tears. Or mainly because that's the smoke coming from the jumper is making her cry. She's burnt it, having decided.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I'll tell you what. You know, we went for fish and chips.
We did.
In Deal.
You guys did.
We did.
Oh.
Well, I did a gig last night.
Even after a burger, you still went for fish and chips.
Well, a bloke shouted, "How did you like your fish and chips?"
Oh yeah.
And
What?
And I said, "Are you from Deal?" And he said, "No."
Oh.
And I said, "Well, how do you?" And he said, "My personal trainer in London lives in Deal."
Oh.
And he took some secret photos of you having fish and chips on Saturday night.
Oh my God, it's like Channel 4's Secret Eaters.
Well, never
It's
mind
like
that. What was
Donald
the...
McIntyre.
What was
Well,
the-
when he was starting out, maybe the pilot for one of his shows.
Also, sack your personal trainer if he's eating fish and chips.
Oh, I don't know
Excuse
about
me.
No, well, he might have been. You know those people that have them without the batter?
Oh, one of those difficult ones.
He might have been one
Or
of
he
those.
might have been one of those that's like, cheat day, it's my cheat day.
Yeah.
Cheat day guy.
I did a quick.
Oh, I thought that meant something else.
I did a quick audience survey, actually. Was there anyone in the room?
This is during your gigs this week, is it?
Yes.
Frank's been doing some skits.
I said, was there anyone here tonight? I said, who's ever been, who recently, in the last 4 or 5 years, has been in a fish and chip shop
Yes.
that doesn't have a framed certificate saying that they're one of the best fish and chip shops in Britain?
With an old newspaper cutting. Hello.
Yeah, but it's like A-levels. It's like everybody's got them now. It's really... And we found one bloke said, well, there's a fish and chip van in my village, and that doesn't have one. And that seems to be the only place we can find. It's like, you know that... It's at the level, the status level of, you know those mugs that say world's best mom?
Oh yeah.
It's like that level, one of those certificates. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody's-
it's a bit keep calm and carry on. Or worse, keep calm and drink champagne. Oh.
absolute... Yes.
Worst people ever.
No, they're very bad, the keep calms.
Yeah. So did you like our weekend, Frank?
Oh, I loved it. It was marvellous.
did I.
There was only one thing
Oh, no.
that sparked my weekend. I told you about this.
Let's hear about this bit.
Well, I left the gang, and
I
when
felt-
you
I
leave
feel sick.
the gang,
Yeah.
then of course you lose some of the gang
Of
security.
course, when you're a jet all the way.
Yeah,
knows that.
this is why the sheepdogs separate one from the
Is that
from
how they
the
operate?
flock.
From the herd,
See, then
yeah.
they
I never
become-
knew about sheepdog operating systems.
Yeah, that's
until
it.
now. I
You
suppose
just
that is
separate the one away, and then
It's page one
they
of
become
bullying.
insecure.
Separate them from the herd.
well, flock in that case.
Okay.
it. Divide and conquer.
So I went off to church on Sunday morning because no one accompanied me.
Well, I was horse riding.
You
in
were horse
fairness.
riding.
Yeah.
And I was walking along the seafront. There was a couple walking ahead of me, and I'd say they were probably in their 60s, but, you know, I used to say that with a sense of distance. And she was on 2 sticks, you know, so they were going a bit slow. So,
And it's pebbles.
yeah.
Right.
So I said, well, I'll tell you in a minute.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, a couple ahead of me on the front at Deal, she's on sticks, and I thought, I walked behind them for a bit. It's a narrow walkway, and I thought, I'm going to be late. So I said, excuse me, and the guy said, please. And I walked past.
Should have left it.
I walked past, and you know when you walk past and it's almost like you've been seized by the shoulders. And I turned around and said, "What did you say?" And he said, "Excuse me, please." That's what you're supposed to say. That's good manners.
Did he know you were in the gang?
He didn't. Well, not just in the gang. I mean, I'd say I'm one of the guitterati. I mean, I'm not. You know, what's that thing the French say about something you think
Esprit
of?
d'escalier.
Yeah.
The thought on the stairs, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, and it's what they say when they, you know, if they afterwards they think of something and think, "Oh, I wished I'd said that." Well, I mean, I haven't done that, but I did think what I actually said. Just get a life, mate. And after I thought, who says that anymore?
Who says that? And also, it's so on you, Frank.
I know. Get a life.
When you told me
Get a
that
life.
story, and I wanted to be supportive and say, I understand, and I was, and then you got to the point where you said, so I said, get a life. And I just thought,
I
Frank.
know. It's rubbish.
I think what happened was you were back in a gang and your insults went back to when you were previously in a gang, so you
Yeah.
were about 11
Well, I couldn't
or something.
swear.
Well, it is quite
I couldn't
craze.
swear because she was, you know, disabled.
Not
I think you
sure
have to
that's
show-
the rule.
I think you have to have extra respect around people on sticks. I've always said that. If they're on sticks, no swearing.
That's one of the rules you live by.
Yeah, it sounds like a crude construction, but you'll find that generally you'll live a better life if you have those sort of little adages.
Patronising.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why can't they be subjected to swear words?
Well, she was older as well. She was probably in her 60s. You don't want to... Once
that
you
much
swear,
older.
I think once you swear, you're on the back foot.
I agree with that. Much better to say get a life.
Yeah.
Keep your dignity.
I mean, that's an
yeah.
altogether classier
When you're in Kent, you got to be a bit careful because there's a lot of people carry a shooter. there is. I mean,
I didn't see anyone.
there's quite a big underground crim fraternity. That's where they go to retire.
Is that right?
Yeah, so you meet somebody...
Oh, it's getting more attractive by
you
the
meet
day.
somebody...
Kent.
Yeah, Kent.
You're thinking of the Costa del Sol?
No, that used to be the Costa del Sol.
Have you just made this up, Frank? Are you sure?
No,
Now it's Deal.
no disrespect to Kent. It's also, you know, the fruit basket of Britain. I'm not denying that. But the fruit basket of Britain, when you remove those grapes at the bottom, you'll probably find a shooter. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, you got to be... If you do have an argument in Kent, you got to, you know, keep your wits about you.
Maybe she
Yeah.
wasn't walking on sticks. Perhaps they were just really long rifles.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of Winchesters. But I thought, I mean, I'd like to... Excuse me, surely is sufficient, isn't it? I thought that was polite.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah. I think he was unreasonable. However, the use of get a life is placing you on very shaky ground.
Do you think?
You think two wrongs
Yeah.
don't make a right?
What if I'd said, get a life, please?
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text from 259 who says, went to the local Chippy last night in West Hampstead and their certificate for best fish and chip shop was awarded by Courvoisier.
Wow.
ESOP, yeah.
Pasta Courvoisier?
Yes. Not in your direction these days.
No.
We've had there's also people have been texting in very disappointed, haven't they, Al?
Yeah. I think it's fair to say.
That happens every week.
But this week it's come in earlier because I think they
Yes.
expected to see Heston Blumenthal on
Yes.
on your little programme.
Yes.
Yeah. 575 says, Dear Frank and the squad, I was hoping to see the infamous Daddy appearance on last week's Room 101. However, what ensued was an argument about how to have tea amongst my family. But we've had a number of texts. Would you care to explain?
I don't do the edit, for goodness sake. The bit I've been speaking, regular listeners, stroke readers will know that I've been speaking for some time how Heston Blumenthal jumped on my back during a recording of Room 101 and did quite a bit of
Freddie Star ate my hamster.
quite a bit of damage. I don't do the edit, but they cut that bit out, apparently. I mean, maybe you saw me physically wince. But we still have, in case his lawyers are listening, we still have the footage. It hasn't been destroyed.
Good.
But no, they didn't put it out, so sorry about that if you were all looking forward to see me getting ligament damage.
And was there a tea conversation on there? Because I thought we'd had one on here last week.
I think it was about milking first, or I think it was that. You know, Room 101.
Yeah.
It's all that stuff.
Because we've also had a text message, an email rather.
We keep saying text message like we've got personal relationships with these people.
No, it's an email. I stand corrected. Corrected. We've had an email titled Colour of Tea. Dear Frank, Em and Alan, Frank's brown envelope tea requirements are similar to mine. It doesn't pay cash for them, by the way. It's just that's the colour scheme that he likes to go for.
It does help if someone's making you a cup of tea. It's a guide.
It's no hotel.
A guideline.
Well, this chap continued. Actually, it may be a lady. I asked for tea which is the same colour as my dog, Harry. Sorry, pic won't attach. Just know that he is ginger and very handsome.
Oh.
That's from 362.
So she gets ginger tea?
Yeah.
That's virtually impossible.
I don't think it is. You can get lemon and ginger tea for a start.
I know, but
I don't think that's what she's
not
doing.
readily available.
Being with two blokes who work in a health shop.
The problem is,
You can get lemon and ginger tea. Oh, can you?
what about if you don't have your dog with you?
Is that your Gary Barlow impression that you're just wheeling out as me for a bit there?
Too loud, Chris.
Frank?
If you don't have your dog with you, that's rubbish, isn't it? I'll have it the same colour as my dog, please.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe.
Whereas everyone knows what a brown envelope looks like. What she needs to find is a commonly known object that's the same colour as her dog.
Perhaps the people making her a tea know her dog. Maybe that's what she's
Sorry to interrupt you, but Plastico Gonzalez has tweeted us.
Oh, yeah.
And he says,
Plastico.
why has Frank...
He's just off stage, I should think, from last night.
Why has Frank never sung Email Corner to the tune of Crazy Horses? # fits beautifully.
It's a very good point, actually, Pedro. What's his name?
Plastico Gonzalez.
Plastico?
Plastico, darling.
So it's not a real name, is it? I don't think so.
You think it's an underplume? Plastico Gonzalez.
Yes. I like it, though.
Yeah, why not?
It's lovely. It's a really good point, Plastico, that I've never thought of.
Plastico.
Yeah, well,
You're saying it so serious.
Well, I'm quite warm to it. What if it is his Neil? You have to be careful in the modern age.
No one in life has ever said it's a really good point, Plastico.
No, but I don't think we should write off the possibility that he might actually be called Plastico.
Good point.
No, but it just reminds me of when Jeremy Paxman said, Mr. Rascal. It's along those lines.
Yep. Jeremy Paxman, or Paxico, as I call him.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I just said something you couldn't hear, Frank, behind your back.
Did you?
Well, you
I'm
had
all
your
right.
headphones on.
I'm absolutely fine with people talking behind my back.
Well, good. You had your headphones on, and you look very professorial in your glasses today.
Oh, yes.
And as you moved the faders up, you suddenly said 13 seconds. And I said Doctor Who's spaceship, because you did seem a bit like a captain.
Well, I take that as an enormous compliment.
Good. OK, Perkins.
There you go.
We've had an email.
Oh, hold on, I just kind of scratch.
Oh,
you
Take
can
your
talk while I'm
Blumenthal back.
scratching,
Actually,
actually.
while you do that, why don't I read the email?
That's a good idea.
You know, I do a Friday night trawl. About 10:30 last night, an email came in. Nominative determinism. We've been talking about that on the show a bit, haven't we?
Let me just do a brief definition.
And why not?
The idea is that your name somehow determines the main direction of your life. So if your name was Potter, you might become someone who worked in ceramics, par example.
Or childcare, maybe.
Yes.
Potty.
Yeah, or a gardener.
Yeah. Hi,
Or
Frank.
a snooker player.
Very good. Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. You were recently discussing nominative determinism on the show, and it made me think of Dan Saladino, who is a correspondent for the Radio 4 food programme.
Oh.
Also, the cleaner at my girlfriend's office is called Colleen.
I love Colleen.
That's very good.
I think there's definitely
Plastico? He probably
bound to
probably
be a
works-
surgeon or
works for
something,
the
isn't it?
Pacamax.
Plastico Gonzalez.
I think so.
You still get Pacamax?
No, darling.
Okay.
I did an awards do for a big drinks manufacturer and
Alcoholic?
seller. Yeah. Like a wine retailer, let's say.
When you say a wine retailer...
Yeah, I mean a wine retailer.
You know that song, Like a Wine Retailer? Touch for the very first time.
Somebody that...
Do you think that would have been... would she have had the meteoric career if she'd sang Like a Wine Retailer? Touch for the... Or it could be Corked for the very first time.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
Anyway, somebody that won an award was called Beveridge as a surname. I mean, what are the chances?
Shut up. Was it Beverly Beveridge?
No, I can't remember his first
Was
name.
it Beveridge who launched the beverage plan, which I think led ultimately to the National Health Service?
Yeah, it was him. He's still knocking about.
It's great that he's still about.
Phil Gallagher...
Well, I saw Jeremy Vine the other night. He was all over me.
Was he? He should have done that. It's true.
No, he was very... I hadn't met him before. I have met him before, that's a lie. But he was very nice. He was nice. I'll tell you something. It was a book launch we were at.
Yeah.
And he was... A lot of people were asking him about Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah, yes, he was good on that, wasn't
he? And he said something which I was genuinely taken aback by.
Oh, was it really rude?
No, it
Sweary.
was. I thought it was remarkable, and I'll tell you what it was after this song.
Oh,
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Omar has been in touch.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he's from Omar. Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway, Frank.
Whoops.
You still get...
Maybe he's what if he lives in Omar and he's called Omar? That's nominative determinism at its most pure.
Yeah.
Well, he seems to be called Peter, but then it says from Omar. Anyway.
Oh.
Frank, you still get Pacamax, except now they're rebranded as Cag in a Bag. Cag being Cagoule.
I see.
There you go. He also gives us some praise and compliments, which I obviously won't read, but thank you very much.
No, I'd quite... it's a good thing to have in your pocket, a cag in a bag.
Oh, okay.
That's not an old adage of mine, so I've only just learned that they exist. But, so anyway, Jeremy Vine was a very nice chap.
Yes.
And I asked him about Strictly, and I said, he must have... And he said, well, in a way it's changed my life, in that I've come to... He says, you know that thing that Bill Shankly... I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying this. He said, you know that thing that Bill Shankly said, that football's not... it's not life and death, it's more important than that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He said, I would say that's probably true of dance.
Wow.
And I thought, that's quite a big thing to hear from Jeremy Vine.
You hate dance, Frank.
He's a serious journalist. But it did make me think. It did make me think. And he'd had a drink. So as they say, in vino veritas. No, I don't think he had. He seemed perfectly sober, but he was serious, and it did. Strangely enough, it was on my mind that I just find dancing makes me very self-conscious. Playing when you get up on a dance floor, you can see blokes. They're suffering, just from being stared at. Not some blokes of my generation. Doon, 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 doon. Again, that would have been a less successful song if it had been a bloke about 50 talking about self-consciousness on the dance floor. Hey, bet you're self-conscious on the dance floor. Something like that. But anyway, the next day, found myself dancing, as I think most people would. Yes, I danced to Mr. Vegas's Heads High. Do you know it?
Oh, yeah.
Heads high. I don't know what he's saying, but it's something like heads high. Just tell him Vegas said so. And I felt a slight chemical reaction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I am starting to think that there might be it's something missing from my life. But how can I add dance at my age?
I don't think you should.
So you're already packed schedule.
What about St. Vitus's?
What sort of dance would you do, Frank? I mean...
Well, exactly.
This is what worries me.
I could just dance at home, couldn't I?
Yeah.
I'm serious now. I really felt with Vino that it had really...
Well, I trust Vino.
Yeah. Well, you do. He's a serious journalist.
Oh, exactly.
But he's got crazy dancing feet. And that's the combination that excites me. Next.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 812.
Go on.
Sorry, can we start that again, Paul? Live. Text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Text the show on 81215. Okay.
You know what I think happened there?
Is that still going on, or is it finished?
I think you were doing it really well a few weeks ago when you were off book, as they say in the theatre. And now I think you've gone back on book and thrown yourself.
No, exactly.
Well, that's because you're permanently off book right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that could
with the
be
skit you're doing in the evening.
Of course, your skit. Anyway.
You haven't got to just tell him Vegas said so.
We really need to talk about... I'm not going to suggest that he's a friend of the show. I think he's sort of
it's too late.
Who's a friend of the show? Mr. Vegas?
No, not Mr. Vegas.
Well, he's barely an acquaintance.
Not Mr. Vegas.
I know him to nod to.
I was going to bring up Kanye West, who creeps up on here every now and again, doesn't he? Yeezy. And he's dithering, I'll be frank.
Is he known as Yeezy?
Yes.
I got to tell you, I didn't know that.
I think it's like an alter ego, like a nom de plume for some of his work. Is it?
Yes.
Is it? I don't know. I don't really...
That's what his brand, that's what his label's called.
Oh, yeah.
It's just at the weekends he's called that.
Yeah.
I mean, is he Yeezy on a Sunday morning?
I think that's exactly what... See, that would have been a good title for his album. He could have called it Yeezy on a Sunday morning. He could have called it Yeezy Street. He could have done all of these things, but he's been dithering, and he went for, I think it's either the third or the fourth album title, and he tried to create a little prize and a bit of mystery.
Well, he was going to call the album Swish, but apparently Joe Swash's legal people, they intimidated him a bit, saying that they thought there might be confusion.
That is a problem.
That people thought that it could be the new Joe Swash release.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I don't know.
Bit of showbiz gossip for people
exactly.
there.
You know, Kanye calls himself Yeezus. I don't know how you feel about that, Frank.
Does he really?
Oh.
I tell you...
Because the Yeezy comes from Y-E at the end of his name, I believe. Like his nickname,
I see.
Kanye. And then he calls himself Yeezus.
Well...
Anyway, he attempted to have a little... we're going to skate over that. Frank's upset.
How do you feel about that?
Well,
I think until this moment...
What can you say?
We're all different.
I think until this moment, Frank was a Kanye... You were pro-Kanye.
Oh, I love him. I love Kanye.
Do you?
I love that one that goes, "Hey, what you want to? Your body's here." You know that one?
That's Elton John.
Yeah, yeah.
Peas in a pod.
Is Kanye not the one with the big glasses?
Who's the other one with the glasses? But they both like leisure wear as well.
They do. I know he's in the pomps business.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but what I would describe the fashion, Kanye's leisure wear is post-apocalyptic leisure wear.
It's that
Do you
bad.
get my meaning?
Yeah.
It's all the beiges and a few rips and a bit dystopian.
Yeah, I must say, I saw some footage of Kanye's fashion show.
Oh, yeah.
Season 3, yeah.
And although I think on one level he could be described as a slightly silly man,
Oh.
I did like I like the stuff. So what about that?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not the
would
trainers.
love it if you came in next week head to foot Yeezy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I would love that.
Exactly. Well, I
don't mind it. I mean,
but I don't know about... I've always associated training shoes with sport.
Oh, that's uncommon.
Now there's
in this
people
day.
wearing them for...
when you say now there's
for
people,
social
it's been
events.
quite some years people have made that decision.
I saw
Yeah.
him. Like, get this.
For social events.
Now, get this. I looked at footage of the fashion show.
I like the way you keep calling it footage, like it's the world at war.
I looked at footage of Yeezy's fashion show. What about this? Now, you're not going to believe this, but I have video evidence. It's indoors, right?
Right.
He's got a hat on.
Oh,
What kind of a...
he's not going to feel the benefit, is he?
Oh,
No,
dear.
never feel the benefit.
I think he probably didn't know. It's probably placed there by mischievous boys on the bus when he come in,
yeah.
sitting behind him. But, dear, he
frankly-
looks such a nana.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Yes. Kanye.
So yeah, we were talking about Yeezy, and his,
Yes.
he trailed that his new album was TLOP.
Yes.
And he asked people to guess what it stood for, because I think he thought, I've set him a right crossword clue here.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was thinking. And
People had to guess,
Not a
didn't they?
terrible idea, though, for a texting.
TLOP's all right, isn't it?
TLOP.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone with less, haven't we, in the past?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
In terms of textings.
We've gone with Have You Ever Been Buried in an Open Grave, wasn't it? Next to one.
It's something like, have you ever buried anyone in an open
Yes.
grave? I think it was. That was in the early days. We're still finding our feet.
Don't remember that
Well, I
one.
did once when you were off. How much does it cost to build a wall?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Genuinely would like to know.
I remember that, yeah.
But anyway, TLOP, I liked it. I liked the idea of it just being called TLOP, but, you know, a guy guessed that it's the life of Pablo.
Oh, God, I thought you were going to say it, the life of Plastico.
That was a
One out.
follow-up
It was
to
one out.
Jan Martel's Life of Pi.
Yeah,
A little
that's
literary
right.
reference there.
Nice.
Yes.
The intelligentsia.
But I don't think that's called the life of Pi, is it?
It is.
Isn't it just called life of Pi?
Oh.
I think it's the Life of Pi. Okay, text in.
Okay.
One of what about when Frank and I go head to head over a
People
matter
will
like
let us
this?
know. I mean, there's one
I'm
of you's
not-
going to be right and one of you's going to be factually wrong here, isn't
I
it?
know, that's correct.
And they say you can't. They say you can't judge a book by its cover, but we can really get the answer to this. By the,
I will always
by
admit,
the book
Frank,
cover.
I admitted before, it was a great moment for you and I let you have it.
Oh,
Well,
that's nice.
I'm sure I would admit it as well if it happened.
No, you wouldn't.
So, yes, what was we saying?
Well, we were basically discussing
Oh, yes.
Kanye's
Oh, the Life of
inability.
Pi,
So, the life of Pablo...
Escobar, or
Yeah.
Picasso.
No, and apparently it's... he is a big fan, he's said in the past, of Pablo Picasso.
Oh,
Yes.
he's not even
And he
said he's
said-
a fan. He thinks he's like
He
on a
said,
similar level.
When
doesn't
I
he?
make my shoes, I feel like Pablo.
Yeah.
I can see that. It's hot in here. Yeah, so yeah, you know, trainers versus...
I think coming up with
Cubism.
album titles is probably one of those things, a bit like coming up with your Edinburgh show title. You don't want it to be too
Yes.
specific. You want to just
that's
come
it.
up with a title.
I think like the life, to be honest, the life of Pablo is quite a nice name
It's
for
all right,
an
isn't
album.
it? What's your current stand-up show called that you're doing at the moment?
It's called The Man With No Show.
Right, ask me what mine's called that I'm touring.
What's yours called, Alan?
A show with a man in it. We're
Really?
very similar.
We've gone back to basics.
Very basic.
Ask me what mine's called.
What's yours called?
We need to talk.
Is that what it's called?
Oh, that's good.
That's good. I like that.
No, it was called... I did have a name for a show. I can't remember what it was called, though.
Dean there done that, wasn't it?
Oh. No, I was going to call it Oh No You Don't.
Oh.
Which was how no one could relate to my observation comedy. It was all about going first class and things.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I
think
thought.
once you got the title, it's a bit like Aid in Britain. Once you've got the title, the series will just follow.
Only
Or-
Fools on Horses. I could do that now.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Emily Dean does a tour, if you've got any ideas for what that should be called, do let us know on 8, 12, 15.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you what, the texts have gone crazy since we asked for suggested show titles for Emily Dean's
Yeah.
non-existent live tour.
You say non-existent, but I reckon if the title's good enough, she'll be lured in.
Yeah,
if
I
you-
will.
If you build it, they will come.
Exactly.
We've also had a text saying, Badil here, Frank's right, it's Life of Pi, no the.
Result?
Oh, he hasn't finished.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, he hasn't finished. He wants to get the
He's
most
given
of his
himself-
50p.
He's given himself the right to...
He's just realised it costs 50p for that text.
I know. I've had a text from him as well.
Badil here, Frank's right,
I
it's
just
Life
hope
of
his
Pi, no
spine's
the.
all right after he's fallen off that chair.
I speak as one of the Booker judges who gave it the prize in 2002.
Oh, well, there you go, from the very inner sanctum.
I don't think you can get more credible proof than that.
Oh,
Even the book
As-
cover, I don't think is...
As one of the Booker judges, I think you made the wrong choice, but that's another story.
oh wow.
Talking.
Look, just because you got the title wrong, don't drag the whole book
Oh, I'm
down.
sorry I got the title wrong. Talking. Talking Tigers. Come on.
Talking
time for
Tigers is
that.
what it should have been called.
That was the working title for it. Talking Tigers.
Talking Tiger on a raft is what it should have been called.
I prefer
People
Tiger
thought it
Who
was a
Came to
cookbook.
Tea.
Yes.
Anyway,
I think the Tiger Who Came to Tea is an example of rather bad manners. Perhaps shouldn't be shown to children.
okay.
Eats everything in the house. Drinks straight from the tap. I haven't drank straight from the tap in our house since when I used to drink so much I couldn't hold a glass in the morning. I used to drink from the tap. And my mum said never drink from the tap because sometimes snails come down, slugs come down through the tap.
Oh. Well, that'll put you off, I think.
Didn't.
Oh, didn't it?
You know, what's one slug? And you got a thirst on.
Frank Hemel Shah says I should call my show The Never Ending Story.
Oh,
How dare you?
Is that kind or unkind?
Legend Studios says hot gossip. And Dewsbury Gambler suggests the three of us go on tour as an ensemble and call it Not Three Bad.
Well,
I like that.
I've often wondered if we could do that. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
A never-ending one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, over on the west side, Yeezy,
Oh yeah.
he had...
And I'm easy.
Did you see the list of instructions he left for the poor models at his show?
Oh yes, no, I thought that
Oh,
was.
it was a lot.
It basically was do nothing, wasn't it?
Wasn't it 38 instructions?
Don't smile. Don't act. Don't pose. Don't.
It was rather strange. Yeah, I thought I thought some of it was grammatically a bit odd. It was no smile, no sing unless instructed.
It's a Bob Marley song.
Do not act cool.
No smile, no sing, let's instructed. Do. Oh, just tell him Vega said so. Well, I something I liked about it because he's a man who knows what he wants, which is a good thing.
No whisper.
But do you remember last week when I told you I was late for an event with Dennis Amiss, the cricketer, and I spent the first 10 minutes saying there was something amiss.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There was something amiss on the motorway, and he said, "Oh, what was it?"
Oh, I know.
Well, if I was working with Kanye and I got these instructions, I'd be saying, "So can you
Oh, no, and I'd be
can you
dying.
elucidate on the no wiggling? And can you just clarify, see if he got it?" I bet he wouldn't get it. He could get it. Everyone else would be falling about laughing behind
He would.
his
He'd
back.
say, "Oh, like I don't hear that every day, every goddamn day."
No, he wouldn't get it. He never hears it because he's treated with enormous respect.
He says,
Not by you,
also,
I don't
another rule, my favourite was do not ever look at the Jumbotron. I wish I'd listened to that advice.
Me too. I've never been hit by that elephant van.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
Yeah, so Yeezy, or Yeezus, as I know you like to call him, Frank, some of the other rules seem somewhat contradictory. Be casual, don't be stiff.
Well, yeah.
I mean, please.
I think
Do not make the same movements at the same time.
Does he mean as each other? Or,
Well,
like...
how do you know when someone's going to make that movement?
Well, that's
I can't sit beforehand and say, can we go through the 72 movements you're going to make?
Hey, they can block it out, as they say in the theatre.
Yeah, that's what choreography is all
block
about.
it out. Or does
Not
he
to
mean...
those level, not to that level
Does
of
he mean
detail.
don't make the same movements at the same time, as in, like, stepping forward? Is he asking them not to bunny hop down the catwalk? Is that what he's doing?
Carry on justifying and then explain this.
Hey, I'm no
Be
Yeezy
aware-
apologist.
Be aware of others and be precautious. Thank you.
Cautious.
Yes.
What I would say, I have to say, I think Yeezy, if he's not careful, is in danger of becoming a bit of a control freak.
I think he's a member of the
hope
Gitterati.
Well,
I
it
hope
does
not.
remind me, and I think this is something that's not often said about Kanye West. It reminds me of Sir Donald Wolfett, the old actor-manager, who used to give a series of instructions to his actors in his company.
Oh, yes.
That said things like, Never move when I am speaking.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tom Henderson. My favourite was, the lights at the front of the stage are for me and me alone. You must find what light you can.
That's what you said to me on my first day here.
I like him. He
You
sounds
can imagine Yeezy coming out with that.
Oh, well.
Maybe not in that voice.
quite easily. Do you know what else he tweeted this week?
What?
He said, "Don't text or tweet me till Monday." I mean, that's great, isn't
And then
it?
he
Like,
proceeded to tweet all the time for the next 48
I love the
hours.
fact that he tweeted people that haven't got his phone number, "Don't text or tweet me till Monday." Faxes and telegrams, I'm totally fine with. But
Well, he likes validation. That's why he
Love
goes
it.
on the social media.
There's an element of, I'm warning you with peace and love.
yes, very strict timetabler. I
Frank,
think.
we've had a complaint about you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can we just leave it till after these messages?
I don't think you're going to like it.
Well, can we just leave it till after these messages?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So go on.
Oh, yeah.
What has been said?
Well, you were talking about an incident recently where you told someone to get a life.
This is after, bear in mind,
Yeah.
that I thought they'd been unnecessarily unfriendly.
Yes.
But go on.
151 says, Frank, have you never heard of being polite and good manners? It does
No,
not.
hold on. What is that?
It does not matter. It does not matter how old you are. What a relief. A simple please and thank you goes a very long way. That's from 151.
But you see, I absolutely agree with that 151. And I felt that excuse me is an act of politeness.
Yeah, you could have just shoved them, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, a lot of people would have done.
Just barreled through.
A lot of people in Kent would have just gunned them down.
Yeah, you're
Walked over their smouldering corpses. Not me, not Frank.
I think you've got Kent a bit wrong.
No,
Frank. I think
maybe.
it's like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. It's not. It's a very sleepy seaside town.
Okay. Well, anyway,
That's what they want you to
so
think.
I thought excuse me was sufficient, and I thought he looked like one of those blokes
Yeah.
who went around correcting people on their grammar. You
Yeah.
know, I'd never do that.
No,
So,
your thing, is it?
No.
so yes, I agree with you.
The very idea.
I thought I
Descartes.
had been polite, and my politeness, rather than being appreciated, had been gone down. That's what I thought.
You don't want to overdo it, do you? You don't want to go...
I'm thinking it might be from this bloke.
Oh, you think?
I think this is a text from the bloke.
I wondered about that.
No. I thought you said he was... maybe he sent it in with one of those phones with big buttons, do you think?
Oh, well, he wasn't that old. He wasn't much older than me.
It wasn't Roger Moore old.
Fair
No,
enough.
but anyway, I thought, well, we'll have a big, massive... No, we won't have a massive vote on it.
The
By the
other-
way, can I just say, by the way, on the Kanye front, did you see
Oh, yeah.
that the game? He's invented a game, a video game,
Has he?
which is
He's a busy fella, isn't
no,
he?
but this one, his mum died, I think last year or something. Yeah,
Right.
and he's got a video game in which she's flying around heaven. And I'm not making this up, and it sounds bad taste, but I mean, it's not my bad taste, or I don't know. And she's got wings and that, and she's flying around heaven, and he's working on that. He's going to develop it. He's an ideas man.
He really is. You can't say he's not.
Brilliant. I mean, there's something brilliant about that, because some people think that's a bit of a weird thing to do, but I like there is nothing in Kanye's head and no one in his life who says, it's a bit weird, isn't it? And I think there's something great about it.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Email corner. Email corner. I love it.
We should do that.
Well done, Plastico. So, yes, we're in the corner.
Well, we have an email here. Hello, team. Listening to the podcast on my afternoon commute in Sydney, Australia. It's amazing what we can do now, isn't it? He's getting this little show over there on the other side of the world.
How did that happen?
My thoughts on suggested names for the Stuart Pearce Longford AFC TV programme.
No, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we had another text that
this really does need some explaining.
New reader start here. Longford FC are, some would say, the worst football team in England.
Yeah.
And Stuart Pearce, Psycho as he was known,
Yes.
has come out of quite a long retirement. I mean, he must be in his 50s now.
Must be.
And for one game, which I think has been played, but I don't know how it went.
No.
Okay.
But I haven't heard of any police involvement.
As is our want, we were mooting what the television programme could be called.
Because I thought he'd only be doing it for a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Might be me being cynical.
Well, he says, David, who sent this, my thoughts on suggested names for the Stuart Pearce Longford AFC TV programme are that he should study their tactics in detail. Therefore, the show could be called Psychoanalysis.
Because he's known as
his nickname is,
and
he adds, thanking you, David, a Yorkshireman in Sydney. Now, that's excellent, I think. That's really good. I think he's done good work there. You're not impressed, Frank?
You sound surprised.
You're not going to be mean to this guy that's written from the other side of the world with this...
I don't think that's any harder to do than to write from.
I'm just saying, he's gone to some trouble.
Well, all he has to do is press send, love.
Yeah, exactly. I don't used to think that he's had to get one of those, those airmail stickers.
Back in the day.
He hasn't gone par Avignon.
Well, what about those letters that used to fold up into an airmail envelope?
Frank, Avignon is in France.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's also the name of the old guy that lives down my road, who we all call Par Avignon.
Do you?
Yeah. Don't you know his dad, Grandpa Avignon? So yes, I thought because he's coming back, there's a lot of profile, Pearce pressure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's quite good.
What about End of the Pearce?
Oh yeah.
And my own particular favourite.
A lot of work into this. I mean, you've got a show going on at the moment.
Well trodden. Yeah, but I don't have to write that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well trodden psychopath.
I don't like the well-trodden.
Well-trodden path, you see.
I'm not sure I like the psycho thing anymore. I think that was allowed when he was a young, sort of terrifying footballer.
I bet he's still delightful.
I think psychopath is fine.
I think he's more like Marks and Spencer's now. He wears like a shirt with a round neck jumper over it, doesn't he?
What about psychopath?
Psychopath is much more of his age now, I think.
I must talk to you about psychopaths, but first...
I can't wait.
So many trailers today.
This you'll find astonishing.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text us on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Now, yes, so I was talking about... So I had an invite this week. I've mentioned on the show before that I can't really ride a bike. And Alan, in fact, offered...
Oh, yeah. Did he offer to teach you?
Yeah, didn't he offer to teach you? Do you ride a bike?
Well, I've tried, and I have officially learnt, but every time I get on, they say you'll never forget. I do every time, and I can't do it, Frank. I can't really ride either.
Well, it's ride it. Oh, no, it's not. It's not like riding. Yeah, so when they say
neither
it's like
of us
riding
are riders.
a bike, it isn't.
No.
Yeah, so I got I got contacted by the TA.
Oh yeah, Territorial Army.
No. The Tricycle Association.
No, you never.
I did.
Embarrassing.
And they suggest that that's the obvious answer. They said that they'd like me to become a member for a start-off, which I feel I should get, if I'm going to do that, I'd have to get a tricycle first.
Oh, you've got to.
I don't want to be like, the member of the Tricycle Association who hasn't got a tricycle.
Yeah.
But I have been thinking about it. They sent me their magazine. I'll show you. Do you want to see it? I'll get it out in a minute.
Not?
Oh, I feel certain we're going to anyway.
There's all sorts of news in it. Apparently they've got a new mileage chart organiser.
No way.
Yeah. Come in recently. You heard that here first.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
And they
no
have
doubt about that.
Yeah.
I was not up on tricycle news until now.
Yeah, so what do you think? As a cyclist, what do you think? Practically, would it be... Would I be able to park it, say, in a bike park?
Not the trike.
You might have to go sort of adjacent, like a bit off-centre to it, hadn't you? If all the bikes are in a row, you can't put a
Where do you put it?
trike in there.
No, and I was wondering about that.
You'd have to sort of go diagonal to it.
To go a bit adjacent
What are you thinking of wearing on the trike? I mean,
Well,
you'd have
suit
to
and
have a
tie.
comedy...
Flat cap.
Frank, you can't have a suit and tie. That's
One of those
embarrassing.
scarves with wire in it, like he's...
No, but I don't think you're taking it completely seriously. I see myself...
I don't think he is either.
This is an associate. They're not like...
nothing? Just wear nothing. Like on those...
Oh, yeah, weirdo.
A horn with glitter.
I think that... Is that one of your travelogues? From the 70s. No, they're not like a lot of ironic hipster types who'd go around
I don't know why
thinking
you're
it's a bit
looking
of
at
a
me as
laugh.
you say that.
Well,
Oh, come on.
Hipsters. I've got a beard. It's not...
Look in the mirror, Caliban.
they take it completely seriously.
Do they?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, in a way, a tricycle makes more sense.
Much
than a
harder to
bicycle.
fall off. You're right.
Yeah,
Much
and
harder.
Yeah.
And you don't have to lean it on anything when you stop.
True.
I've
You'd have
got a
to be
great
going-
idea.
You'd have to be going sideways
Why
on a
don't
very
you get
steep
in a
hill.
car?
Well,
That's
I've got
another
a
good
car,
point.
but I'm trying to save the planet.
Oh.
Get out of
Yeah.
that.
Well, I can, but I
think
don't
you'll
feel
probably
my views
I
would
think
be
you'll probably
popular.
get sent one. You know, you talk about
No.
stuff on the radio, and then the next week
No,
it arrives. I'm
no, I
looking
don't-
forward to next Saturday,
I don't-
Trike Day,
I
as
don't
we'll be
think
calling it.
I'll get a tricycle. I might get a pair of three-legged trousers for riding one.
Oh yeah,
Do you need... Is that what you do?
I don't think so.
I'll have to look in that. I'll have a look in the magazine. I'll show you the magazine during this.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Yes, I've just posed for a picture for our, what's it called? Social
Readers' wives,
network.
readers' husbands,
Social networking? Is that what it's called?
social media.
Yeah.
Okay. I had
just say
community
yes. Just say
support
yes.
in my head.
Yeah, it's for the community
For our
support. We've got a
for our community
photograph
support.
for the
We're all
community
sitting here in
support.
high-vis jackets.
That's a very 70s name for Twitter, isn't it? Community support. Well, you don't get much support on Twitter.
I've just thought though. I've held this on the picture. I'm holding the Tricycle magazine next to me, and I'm wearing my my Gregory Peck spectacles. And what a shame I just for that picture I hadn't got a third lens on it for the tricycle.
That would be good. I mean, you could go the other way and learn to ride a bicycle, or
I could do, but this way I'm eliminating the middleman.
yeah.
I'm going straight to cycling without any.
It's like a life hack, isn't it? You're cutting.
Do you think you get enough room on a London road to ride a tricycle?
I think you could just take that route. I think you should on a bicycle.
Well, with
take
the
that
new
route,
cycle
but
lanes,
you really
that
can.
Yeah, but
London has ground to a halt as a result of.
But when
Is that
are,
what-
when are the new tricycle lanes coming in?
Well, I think they'll be used just as much as the cycle lanes.
Well, you're probably right.
Bit of material there, serious material.
I think Emily might have a problem with them.
I'm a bit of a fan of the
Cycle lane.
cycle lane. It's the only
Are
way
you?
I would have the courage to cycle in.
You like
London.
3 hours sitting in a traffic.
I do.
So,
You haven't
got a
heard
new
my
car.
fabulous CD collection. I look forward to 3 hours sitting in
can
traffic.
I just say to all the people having a go at me, saying, tell her to stop saying leisure in the Yanks way. It sounds ridiculous. In the
I
middle-
don't think you can say Yanks anymore.
No, I don't think you can.
Okay.
Also,
Can
I
you
was
tell them
doing
to
it
leisure?
intentionally.
Can you tell them to stop being racist in a 1940s kind of a way?
Yeah. Leisure, you said.
Yes, you
And
were being ironic.
I was being
I
ironic.
think it was very clear to us, because we know you and find you funny, but maybe some people aren't digging quite as deep as we are.
I call it Yeezy.
Yeezy. You and Yeezy.
So much of it involves Kanye West.
Yeezy
My
wear.
Yeezy time.
Mark David Lawler, he's quite a formal...
I will mark David Lawler.
Yes, for life.
Yeah.
He says, in response to the, what did you call it, community service?
Community support.
Community support
I was
tweet
thinking
that we put up. He
no,
said,
often when
that's certainly a good shirt for radio, Frank. Hashtag bit bright sun.
Oh. I don't think there's any need for that. It's a lovely shirt.
I like it.
Jade, is it not? Is it a jade
Well,
shirt?
yeah, that's good.
Thanks very much. You know, I've got colour vision problems. I wouldn't
Do
say
you?
colour. Yeah, I'm
Should you be on a bicycle?
I don't think it's
So
that.
does that mean that you don't know the end of your nose is red this morning?
It is red this morning.
Is
Oh, you
it?
did know
So
that.
it's a
I thought-
pimple. It's a pimple.
Is
Thanks,
it?
Frank. God, bullying in the workplace.
It's not
Is it a
bullying.
pimple?
Get my lawyers.
I
Get-
just thought you'd been, you know, I know you've got a lot of other jobs. I thought one of them might be
I don't.
doing some sleigh work.
When you say I've got a lot of other jobs, you think it's nose to the grindstone.
No, I'm thinking that, you know, then one foggy Christmas Eve, etc., etc., as I think the King of Siam once said.
So we did.
Trust me.
We're going to get a tweet having a go at you for mispronouncing that now.
What, Siam?
No, etc.
Etc.
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, I'll just forward it to Yul Brenner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can we discuss the giant rabbit?
Oh, the giant rabbit.
I've fallen for this geezer.
In Glasgow,
7 months old. Oh, is he Glaswegian?
he's in.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
He's in Cardonald in Glasgow, an area where my gran lives, in a high-rise flat, which I think is too small for this rabbit.
Well, she wants to watch out if this thing's on the... Because when
If it's on the loose.
I saw
Size
the
of a
King
dog.
Kong.
I saw the headline, like, you know, big rabbit, blah, blah, and I thought, well, it's going to be... When I saw the picture, I mean, it is a big rabbit.
It's
Size of a
massive-
dog.
Yeah, it's huge.
Specifically a Westie, they said.
It is the largest of pets,
Yeah.
which was my entry in the competition for what Kanye's album was called.
TLRP.
Yeah.
The largest of pets. That was a good guess.
What if,
that's
he'd called
good.
it, what if he'd called it the largest of pets? Is
That would be great.
And then have Atlas on the cover,
He'd have
which
had-
is his name. the
Yeah,
rabbit.
Atlas.
But then Kim would have said, what's that? What are you getting at?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it would have gone different. Yeah, Atlas is called because
Yeah.
obviously I think Atlas bore the world on his
Yeah.
shoulders, didn't he, as a
Yeah.
perpetual curse.
He's looking for a home. Now,
Yeah.
I've been tempted.
Have you?
Well, I've got the concrete patch, so I could...
I've heard that, but you know what?
well, I could erect a cage in the garden. No, a cage. And I'll put him in there. I mean, he's a big one.
He is a big one.
I'll put him in a Foxy Bingo waistcoat. And he'll...
You could.
You'd need an
The
XL.
thing is,
Yeah.
you wouldn't need to buy any special rabbit clothing.
Yeah.
I don't know where you get that from, but you
The
could get it.
children's department at TK Maxx.
But you could
do that.
You could go
Get the
into an
stuff that's-
Oxfam shop and kit out this rabbit. It would
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit tight under the arms.
Just
Yeah.
you get fat kids' clothes,
I'll
really,
put him
couldn't
in
you?
the top,
I don't know if
the
you can
top
say
hat.
that. Can you say that?
What? There's none here that I'm
Anything.
offending. I think you can say
No,
it.
when you say there's none here, you see these things that hang
Oh, the
above our heads?
microphones.
Yeah, they're microphones.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting, for goodness sake.
Well, I wasn't speaking about
It's our
any
first broadcast from Radio
individuals.
Caroline. We're broadcasting.
I just wonder who will be writing in to get this. You know, would there be gourmets
Yeah.
sitting at home
Oh,
thinking,
yeah.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't mind that.
Fernley Whittingstall, he'll be on the
mind that.
case.
Yeah, you got-
Gilet manufacturers.
The ears are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Your milliner.
Yeah. Lucky Charm vendors.
Yeah, that's only 4 up,
Can I
aren't
tell
they?
you what puts me off rabbits? If he was going to share my area,
Yes.
I have heard that they're nasal breathers. So they can't breathe through their mouth, or they only breathe through their nose.
Yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
thing, isn't
No,
it?
not if you're sleeping next to them. I mean, I'm not having that snoring going on.
I
You
don't know if
sleep
you're
next
supposed
to
to have
them.
them in the bed.
I'm not having a pet and not having it in my bedroom.
You wouldn't want that thing in your bed, though.
Well, it's not the first time you said that to me. But I ignored your advice.
It's about time you had
Play some
someone.
music.
About time you had someone in who didn't breathe through their mouth exclusively.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
So they're looking for a home for this massive rabbit, and
Good summary.
I'll be honest. I would consider it, but I think it'd bully the dog. we've got a dog that I think she's
Have you
already
still
quite
got the
timid.
whippet?
Yeah,
You
oh yeah,
haven't
the
mentioned
whippet.
the whippet for ages.
Just did. I haven't mentioned the whippet.
Yeah, but isn't that some sort of weekend at Bernie's thing?
Yeah, and also me and the kids, we eat quite a lot of raisins, and I don't think having a rabbit would be good for that. There'd be confusion, wouldn't
Not
there?
not this one. This
Yeah,
is what
like plums.
I
would
wouldn't
be-
give it raisins. I'd treat it like a human, 100%.
No, it's not about giving it raisins.
I think it might be leaving.
Leaving the raisins.
dotted
No,
around
not
the
this
place.
one.
you know.
This would be a nice pet for a shot put enthusiast. I've never seen anything like it. I honestly sat and looked at the picture for between 3 and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
He's more than 4 feet long and weighs 3.5 stone.
He's more than 4 feet long.
And weighs 3.5 stone.
I've got smaller children than this rabbit.
He weighs 3.5 stone. That's all right. I can put him on a diet.
That's
Is
not
it a
bad,
buck?
Is it 3.5 stone?
Is it a buck?
I don't know what that means.
Is it male?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
Thank
called
you, Frank.
he. He's called he. And
Oh,
he's
okay, Atlas.
Atlas. You know, it's not a she
He's
name.
he's
is it?
physically
Oh, might be
active.
shot putter.
He's physically active, so to speak.
What do you
in case
mean by
want-
that?
Well, the headline said Bot Rogers.
Oh my god.
In I had to go to head voice. You see, I went from chest voice to head voice. I knew
Yeah.
I couldn't make it with the chest voice. You got to know your limitations. That's what opera's all about.
Yeah, but I think you coped admirably with it's always the transitions in anything, any activity.
Yeah, true.
Find it with
Very
riding.
true. Very true.
Rising trot to canter. Hello. I'm all
Yeah.
over those transitions.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like on This Morning,
yeah.
you know, when they say, well, thank you very much for telling us about the death of your parents in a massacre. And now the perfect Christmas pudding.
True.
It's
True.
there's a real skill.
One of my favourite moments ever on This Morning was extremely harrowing news from a woman who'd smuggled out people from the Nazis, and Richard Madeley went from that to flat pack furniture.
That's how they smuggled them out. Flatpacks.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I've got some thrifty news for you, Frank. I know you like to keep one eye on the housekeeping budget, don't you?
Indeed.
I mean, on the rare occasions that you do actually pay for stuff, because we're looking forward to your tricycle arriving gratis
that won't, I
next
predict
week.
that won't happen.
No.
Yeah.
Well, EasyJet, you know, they have low-cost flights.
Yeezy Jet, I call it.
EasyJet.
Now that
yeah.
would be one. Why doesn't he start Yeezy Jet? A really
don't think he's
hot
thought it
market.
Oh, I'd go on Yeezy Jet.
It could be in the shape of his mother with the wings.
Anyway, Stelios has opened.
All right,
has opened
Stelios.
Stelion, yeah. He's opened a 25 pence store. I mean, we had the pound store,
Yeah.
and then the 99 pence store undercut them, and now it's gone right down to 25p.
That's brilliant.
I mean, that's cheap, isn't it?
Is it brilliant? I'm not certain what stuff. I mean,
I
I
never
like the
thought I'd
idea.
hear you saying that.
I like the idea of the discount, but I'm not certain what stuff they've got that I would buy. Actually, I've looked at it, and it's all dried pasta and biscuits,
What were you expecting?
sugar.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a bit.
No, it's optimistic of
You know
me
what I'm
to
saying?
expect there to be
Yeah, but of course it is, Al. Come on, what are you going to say? Let them eat kale? I mean, please.
Yeah, I just
It
wanted
is-
a bag of rockets. Is that so much
No,
to
that's
ask?
not the place to go.
No.
There's a lot of sardines.
Well, that's
for sale.
probably good. That's probably the best. You know, you've got to eat your smash. Sardines, mackerel, anchovies.
Ready-made curry.
But the sort
What's the
of
other
people
two?
who are shopping, I think you're going to find it's a bit knock-knock.
A bit knock-knock.
National obesity crisis. Because it's one of the problems. This is what's caused the national obesity crisis. Is food has got so cheap.
Right.
I went to Iceland with Mom, obviously.
Yeah. Reykjavik.
Yeah, and it was bitterly cold. No, I went to, and I bought a burger, but they were in a pack of, I think it was 11 for 99p.
Really?
Well, I thought once I've opened the pack,
Yeah.
Like Scooby-Doo style.
They're like Pringles to you, aren't they?
Yeah, burgers, they are.
I find that once you pop. So
That is like the world's strongest man Pringles.
But I wouldn't mind a look round the 25p store. Come on.
No,
Well, you
I'd
say that, but
definitely
you're
come
going to
for a look
struggle.
round.
Because obviously they had to close because of the demand,
Yeah.
outstrip supply, and now they've had to get bouncers outside the shop to maintain order.
What? Because what? Because,
Order.
Yeah.
People pillaging.
People are desperate to get in. How long were the queues, Daisy?
6 hours.
6 hours? Thank God they're unemployed. Wow. I
Yeah.
saw that. What I wasn't impressed by was their slogan.
What's their slogan?
Sorry, I dropped my phone.
Oh, sorry.
I was doing that a lot on our trip to Kent, wasn't I, Frank? You got used to it.
Yeah, sorry,
My
you
ways, yeah,
guys.
come. Sorry, you weren't there, Al. We had a hilarious time together.
So their slogan over the top of the door
Yeah.
is no expensive brands, comma, just food honestly priced.
Right.
No full stop.
Ah.
Oh.
No hyphen in honestly priced.
Oh, no.
They know how to get them in.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
It did occur to me when I was reading about this 25p store that it must actually sting a little bit now to pay 5p for a carrier bag in a place like that. 'Cause
Wow,
it's
that's
like
a
Yeah.
it's a massive portion
Yeah.
of your shop. I've only spent £6 on
probably
3
not-
bags of shopping, but now I'm spending 15p on bags.
It's probably £17.50 for a carrier bag.
That's what they should
So
do.
all these people go in and buy all this cheap stuff, and then they can't carry it out.
Hey, I know you get sent a lot of free stuff
Then
on
why do
this
you keep
show.
on at me?
a
You're
lot.
so
I mean, you
bitter.
really. No, I'm not being bitter. Between you and me, I've actually been sent. I've been sent something for myself today.
Have you? What did you get?
I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Patrick, who
You can't do this every time you're sent for Ebs.
no, he listened to
I mean,
an
I'd be on
earlier
it. That'd be
show.
3 hours of my show.
Do you remember I was talking about the embarrassing lie that I told a stranger when I couldn't just give her the £1 coin for a shopping trolley because I used, as I said to her, it's my wife's keyring £1 coin token thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not my wife's, it's mine. I just lied to make myself seem more manly.
Yeah.
And Patrick has sent me one with a little smiley, like an acid house face type thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
that would work. That will get you a...
that'll get you a trolley, and
okay.
you then get it back at the end and put it back on your car key. And he said that your comments, Frank, because I think you teased it, your comments smack of a man who is both rolling in £1 coins and does not often have to go around with a trolley doing the big shop. That's what he says of you.
Oh,
Well, can I say,
my.
I do go. I'm happy to go out with the trolley. I'm not saying I'm not rolling in £1 coins,
You've got a lot of those.
but I'm happy to. I like going to the supermarket. You meet people and stuff like that.
Sound like a pensioner.
And I also,
People.
I
It's a good ticket for him to get out.
I
Al.
like a checkout. I like that. I like all the politics of, when the person ahead is a bit slow putting the shopping divider. I start loading mine
So do
quite
I.
close to theirs, and they get frightened.
I was in a
I do as
large
well.
supermarket.
I compare my goods as well.
I was in a large supermarket the other day, and it was such a big one that they had a person holding up a hand that pointed to like a queue that wasn't very busy. You know, like space here.
You sure you weren't at WWF wrestling?
Or at an airport.
Or what was that thing with gladiators? They like to foam
Another
hands.
one bats the dust.
Kenny Everett, he had a foam hand as well, didn't he?
Let's just not name everyone who had some sort of thing they held up.
All right, fair enough.
No, let's definitely not do that. So, thank you so much for listening this morning. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now, get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.